Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel where skincare is all about progression over perfection because perfection doesn't exist. You know what? I think I do a good job at knowing my place within the skincare community, right? Online community. I don't pretend to be a professional. I don't pretend to know it all. I'm a proud, good old-fashioned reviewer and consumer. And we are so lucky to have so many amazing, genuine skincare professionals online, scientists, experts, all sharing their knowledge and experience with us. And most importantly, debunking all this scary misinformation, fear-mongering out there when it comes to chemicals in our products, etc. You know. However, not every expert is made the same. Like any job, you have your people who are qualified, who are good, qualified, who are crap. But who am I to say this? I'm not a dermatologist, I'm not an esthetician, I'm not an expert in any way. I don't have a leg to stand on. But today we are going to look at some dermatologists, estheticians, amongst other things today, who get it so wrong. I'm no one to say this, so all the information, all the sources that this information comes from genuine experts, will be linked in the description box down below. So this is a video that I was sent a lot. People don't often tag me, they usually send me, but they tag me a few times in this one as well. This is a video of an esthetician who takes a look at products and reviews them by their ingredient list. Red flag number one. I think I was tagging this so much because in this particular video, she's reviewing one of my favorite brands and products, which is the pink watermelon juice from Glow Recipe. So let's watch it.
I wasn't too familiar with Glow Recipe, but I went on their website and looked up their best sellers, and the first one to pop up was the Pink Juice Moisturizer, so let's review it. Right off the bat, my first red flag is that it doesn't show all the ingredients. If a brand can't show you all the ingredients on their website for the product, then that's just a red flag to me, whether it's good or bad. So it shows the key ingredients, and it shows these three. Obviously, hyaluronic acid is great for your skin. I personally wouldn't want watermelon on my skin or certain extracts from flowers just because it's fragrance. So I ended up finding on a different website a little bit more about it and the ingredients that's in it. So right off the bat, I like that it is silicone free. I am not really a fan of them saying that it's fragrance free if they're going to have certain extracts in it. It does have a certain kind of alcohol in it, which I don't like. Alcohol generally isn't really great for your skin. And then it has a lot of fungal acne triggers in it. So over time, this will probably clog your pores. It will probably break you out. I would say, my personal opinion, it's going to do more harm than good. Again, I've never tried this product. I'm not super familiar. This is just based off my educated opinion from researching it for literally a couple minutes, and I personally just wouldn't use it on my skin.
Okay, so I want to go through point by point here and kind of just see what she said. So first of all, about the ingredient list, I just want to say I review Glow Recipe all the time, and whenever I review their products, I always go to their ingredient list to refresh, my brain. Their full ingredient list is always in the key ingredients section. You just have to scroll down to the bottom. It's always been there. If a brand doesn't show you their full ingredient list, it does make me trust them less. It's like, why? What are you hiding? What can't you show me? Second point is that watermelon is fragrance and that she wouldn't use it because it's fragrance. Extracts she wouldn't use. Flower and fruit extracts, very different. First of all, the majority of people can use fragrance absolutely fine for their whole life and not react to it. If you don't like fragrance, if you can't use it, fine, don't, but it shouldn't immediately be blacklisted just because it contains some fragrance. I can't see them saying it's fragrance free. Maybe I missed that, but I can't see that claim on the website. Now, there's something unique about watermelon fragrance, and that is that it cannot be replicated. While she's correct that fragrance is a standalone ingredient here, the watermelon as an ingredient isn't the fragrance. When we think of watermelon scent, we think of that fake sweet watermelon smell, right? And as I mentioned, that's because people cannot replicate the smell. So why can't they get it from the fruit, you may think? Just shove the fruit in there and the fragrance is strong enough. Well, no, the compound that actually makes the watermelon smell is notorious for degrading super quick, super quick, making it impossible for real watermelon to be used as an artificial fragrance or flavor. And that's why you smell this watermelon smell, because it is in there an artificial fragrance. But watermelon on its own is an amazing antioxidant and very, very good for your skin, and usually absolutely fine for all skin types. The next point is that she's probably reading this on a website like an ingredient checker, like EWG, Skin Deep, etc., etc. It sounds like she's reading all the, fragrant ingredient, this is what it does, blah, blah, blah. We know those websites are notorious for misinformation, misinterpreting studies, posting really a load of crap, basically, about certain ingredients. You also cannot review a product just by looking at the ingredients list, unless you are a formulation expert, depending what those ingredients are formulated with, can change the whole type of ingredient, The next point she says is silicone free. And the thing is with TikTok, these skincare experts, is they don't give a reason as to why they like or hate something. So I'm guessing from this, she thinks silicones are pore clogging. That seems to be the general consensus of why people don't like silicones in their makeup and skincare, whereas that's not true. Silicones are actually very breathable. They're actually permeable as well. The next point, as I mentioned, I don't see fragrance free on this product or on the website. I actually see a fragrance disclaimer stating that they use less than 0.5% fragrance in some products. I do think at one point when they didn't use artificial fragrance, their fragrance was labeled as natural, free from artificial fragrance. So I don't know how old this video is. I don't know if it was still around then. I'm not sure. She then goes on to say that alcohol is not good for your skin. She doesn't like certain alcohols. In some formulations, sure, if you're in the 80s and you're using an astringent, denatured alcohol probably isn't the best for your skin, especially if it's dry. However, in a moisturizer, it's usually just a solvent. It's not really a big deal. Common sense, a drying alcohol in a moisturizer probably isn't going to dry you out. However, in this particular product, the alcohol is cetyl alcohol, which is a fatty alcohol, which basically works to help the product feel nice in the skin. It doesn't dry out in any way whatsoever. So this is the issue with generalizing alcohols and certain ingredients. Finally, she says fungal acne triggers. Fungal acne safe ingredients do not exist. It's not a thing. I'm guessing she's using the website Skin Charisma, actually, because they have a fungal acne safe kind of like little icon against certain ingredients. Skin Charisma, worryingly, get their information from the EWG website, their rating system too. Massive, major red flag. So there aren't products that are safe, meaning that it's not going to cause that. Products aren't it just doesn't, it's not a thing. It's not a thing. She then says that they'll probably clog your pores and break you out. There's absolutely nothing in this product that suggests that it will probably do that in any way. And then she says the term researching for a couple of minutes, Googling things also doesn't sit right with me. This is what happens when you take things at face value. This is like reading an article headline and not the full story. You take everything you read at face value and you don't delve deeper into the ingredients, what they're partnered with, what kind of product it is, all that kind of stuff, and you end up telling people to avoid products that are perfectly safe to use. Okay, let's move on to the next one. This is from a dermatologist who's going quite viral for her insider knowledge into the skincare industry.
Hey, Jess!
Hi, Doris!
How are you, honey?
What's one thing the beauty industry doesn't want you to know? Part 5.
Part 5. I guess I'm your ingredient bestie now.
You so are.
Okay, let's talk about sunscreen. I'll talk about sunscreen because I was just at the beach this weekend. So one of the things I really want you to know about sunscreen is you have to pay attention to what type of sunscreen that you're wearing. Oxybenzone is the #1 sunscreen that most sunscreen companies use, but it's also very toxic for your skin. It's something that I would highly recommend against using. And in fact, they introduced oxybenzone in the 1970s, and that's when we saw such an influx of skin cancer. So when you're talking about sunscreen, you want to use something that's natural, or maybe zinc-based, a natural barrier that will stop the sun.
You're amazing!
All right, love you, Jess.
Love you!
I just realized she said use something that's natural or zinc. So she wasn't saying zinc is natural. She's saying use something that is natural, a natural sunscreen, which we know don't work. You avoid those like the plague. Anyway, listen, I love her. There's something about her that I really, really love. Okay, let's break down what she said. Oxybenzone is very toxic for your skin. We all know this isn't true. This again is a blanket statement that completely ignores the full story. There is no evidence to suggest that any sunscreen is harmful to humans. I will link to Michelle from Loud Muffin Beauty Science's whole sunscreen playlist, and she breaks this down perfectly. Finding sunscreen in your blood, zinc being better than oxybenzone, zinc being better than, chemical sunscreens, all that kind of stuff. She breaks it down so perfectly. So any questions, watch her playlist first and then go and ask her. This is an interesting one. influx of skin cancer in the 1970s because of oxybenzone. Now, we have to look at the culture, skincare culture and tanning culture of the 1970s. I'm not exactly sure where she got those exact figures from because the research I did says something very different. Tanning in the 1970s became huge. It became popular in the 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, but in the 70s, it was on another level. The darker tan you had, the more glamorous and beautiful you were. You know, prior to the 60s, still being fairer was more popular. So obviously, tanning became huge. This came with huge skin cancer risks. Tanning was a part of culture, you know, products were being released. Brands were creating tanning oils with factor 2, factor 3. There were tanning products whose catchphrases and advertising boasted how dark they can make your skin go from the sun. Some of these oils, some of these products were literally frying your skin. It wasn't until 1974 that SPF rating was introduced. By 1978, it was a legal requirement. Showing tanning culture was so huge in the 70s that it changed sunscreen. It changed the world of sunscreen. In fact, Cancer Research UK says those who are being diagnosed with skin cancer today are those sun worshippers of the 1970s. Cancer Research UK, who carried out this analysis, said many older people with skin cancer would have been enjoying cheap package holidays in the 1970s, saying generations of adults are paying the tragic price for the rise of tanning salons and cheap holidays to the sun, which boomed in the 1970s. No mention of oxybenzone causing cancer. This is skin cancer from the rise in artificial tanning, tanning under the sun. And we still see that to this day. There's a rise in skin cancer, not because of sunscreen, but because of tanning culture. Third point, zinc-based natural barrier. Zinc doesn't work like a barrier. We know that it still lets UV light through. Sunscreen myths are probably the worst thing, especially when it comes from someone wearing a lab coat, because this is something that can save people's lives. This is something that can protect people from cancer. Yet we have people, you know, with voices of authority telling us that sunscreen gives us cancer and we should be using natural things instead. Okay, let's look at this one.
So tell me, how's it feel? Tell me, how's it feel? Sitting up there.
So here we see a dermatologist basically approving a product, saying the results are real. It's a real product. He looks like a surgeon more than a dermatologist, but he is pointing at this thing, saying it's real. Look at that. This dermatologist is approving a really obvious fake product that is using such a heavy filter to fake results. However, this isn't his account. That's not him. That's not his video. Well, that is him, but this isn't what the video is. This is a video taken from a doctor, dermatologist, surgeon's, I couldn't find him, TikTok, and then this company are using it to pretend that their products are dermatologist approved. So when you look in the comments of these videos, people are like, oh my god, I have to buy this. Derm approved, I'm getting it. This dermatologist guy, or whoever he is, sorry, probably doesn't even know he's being featured in these adverts like this. It's happened to me, it's happened to other influencers, dermatologists, where they take videos of ours out of context and put them in their cheap product videos to sell their product. This isn't the case of a dermatologist or expert leading us astray. It's a brand pretending that their products are approved by a professional. Again, like, if you see blurry skin, just don't believe it, please. Oh my god, people were saying me this and they were freaking out with this video. Okay.
One talent that I have that is probably the worst advice to give you guys is I can sleep in full makeup and I could sleep like this and never ruin my makeup. So sometimes you'll see if I have to get up really early in the morning, I'll do my makeup the night before and have it done, sleep, not move, and wear it the whole next day. And you would never know. My makeup lasts a really long time on my face. I don't know why.
Kim Kardashian, in her skincare line interview, saying she sleeps in her makeup. Listen, this doesn't bother me. People are like, she's launching a line and she sleeps in makeup. That's like one of the number one sins of skincare. It is, and I agree. We have to remember, these celebrities live very different lives to us. She probably has to get up early, do a shoot, or she's walking to her car, getting fully papped. You know, I doubt she does this every single night. They live different lives. They're in completely different situations to us. We can walk to the shop and be absolutely fine and not get paparazzi'd on. It's not commonplace. It doesn't bother me. She could do what she wants with her skin and her makeup. She's lucky that she has the money to afford the top dermatologists and estheticians and facialists in order to help her through this nasty habit. At least she knows it's wrong.
Shut the fuck up.
Right. So me and Hiram did this hack ages ago. We're like reacting to this. Here's the thing. This is my thing with TikTok. They're like, you're using this wrong. I think I've even done a video called You're Using This Wrong. It's clickbait. You're not using micellar water wrong. That isn't the right way to use it. It's not going to hurt in any way. But it doesn't improve the product. You know, she's reacting to it like it's doing something, you know, better than it's ever done. It works in the exact same way. In fact, I would say it's a little bit more difficult to use when you blow through the thing and it, you know, foams. But I'd also be careful because I feel like you're changing the structure of the molecules in the product. Let me know what you think, because micellar water obviously relies on micelles, and these are the little things that literally go on your skin. They have to rub on your skin. You have to kind of like cause that friction in order for it to pick up all that dirt and crap and makeup, whatever. So I wonder if blowing through it and changing the structure of it kind of makes it work less. I don't know. Let me know what you think. Just wipe it on your face and be normal. Follow the directions on the pack, not what Sandra from TikTok says.
This is not ice. It's actually called an alum block. It's made up of a substance called potassium alum. It's a natural astringent, it's an antiseptic, so if you get any cuts, if you get any razor burn, it does a great job of healing them, tightening the skin up, and making sure that it's nice and clean. If you use it on a cut, it does sting like absolute crazy, so just be mindful of that if you're using it for the first time.
An alum block is, or stone, you may have heard it called before, it's hydrated potassium sulfate. There's a few things like this. Yes, it's good for all the above what he said, but it stings so bad. He mentioned if you cut yourself, it may stings. If you have very sensitive skin and you've rubbed a razor over your skin and your skin is sensitive, it could potentially sting everywhere. I know I stopped using these because they hurt so bad when I did used to shave, but also they are incredibly drying. What a lot of people don't really say is that they're really supposed to be washed off. You kind of rub it over your skin, then leave it for like 30 seconds, let it do its job, then just rinse it away and moisturize, hydrate and moisturize, because this, for me, create a lot of dry, flaky skin, and I didn't put it down to this. I put it down to other products in my routine. But yeah, it's fine. It's good. If you got a cut, I usually just put it on the cuts and it's fine.
Okay, so working on Fashion Week, you get to learn these amazing little tips and tricks, especially from the models. And what I'm about to share with you from what I learned from the model changed my skin forever. A large majority of the models dry cleanse their face. So what you do is get some of your cleanser on a dry face just like this in the morning and at night, and start rubbing it in for about a minute or until the product gets dry. Okay, so after about a minute of rubbing it in, this is what it looks like. Now you just go wet your face and wash it normally. So this has improved the overall tone, the texture of my skin. I've been noticing that like my acne was becoming slowly less and less existent. Do I know why this works? Absolutely not. So if any skin people want to tell me, that would be great, but I highly recommend you give this a go.
Yeah, this is good. So we all know the 60-second cleanse, right? It's an esthetician, a very popular esthetician technique that estheticians are taught in esthetician school. Esthetician. There's a few reasons why I think this works. First of all, it's making you concentrate more on where you're massaging the cleanser into your face, right? I feel like a lot of people always forget the corners of their nose, like the hairline, the temples, all these areas of the skin where when we're doing a quick cleanse, we just kind of like rub over, then rinse away. So you're making sure you are getting a good cleanse. Whether you're applying it to dry or wet skin, I'm pretty much sure all cleansers kind of work the same. Massaging a cleanser onto your skin for a long amount of time basically allows the surfactants in the cleanser to work better. The more gentle rubbing there is on the skin, the more motion, the more chances that the surfactants in your cleanser are getting to work. It's not about the amount of time that you're rubbing, it's about the motion of the rubbing that allows surfactants to do their job. However, if you leave a cleanser on for too long, it can do the opposite. Surfactants are made to be rinsed off, all face washes are made to be rinsed off, so leaving it on for too long can dry you out, it can irritate your skin. And while 60 seconds tends to be a good amount of time, it could be 30 seconds with a cleansing brush. It could be a minute and a half with your fingertips. You know, there's no real proven optimal time, but 60 seconds seems to be the standard. I can't remember who I learned that from. It was either Sam by the Counter or Lab Buffin. I'll link down below. Let's look at this one.
Think about it. Why would you sun all of your body except for your reproductive organs? Sunning your perineal, men and women, boosts your energy levels, helps you heal faster, and increases cell reproduction. Don't believe me? Do your research, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, I thought about it. No. First of all, I have IBS. I'm not doing those positions in the morning. But also, there is absolutely no scientific evidence at all backing up anything he said. If you go to Google and be like, is perennial tanning, whatever it's called, good for you? Of course you're going to find articles from people who say it is, because they're bullshitting. They're making up this stuff, you know? But there is no science behind this. No science behind this. Also, if the sun doesn't see a certain part of your body because it's between cheeks, don't expose it to the sun. Don't do that. It's obviously going to be a lot more sensitive to the sun than the rest of your skin. Skin cancer, everywhere. You can get it everywhere. There is absolutely no reason to do it. We all know this. No one's going to go out and do this. Okay, that's it for today. I'm going to finish on that one because that one's done it for me. I hope you enjoyed that. Please look at all my references and people who I really do trust, experts that I trust, in the description down below. You can watch some more reaction videos here, some general light entertainment here, and I'll see you over there.